What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your spiritual big brother, Jovian. On this Monday, and I really just one of the reasons to test out this new ring. Well, it's not even new. It's like old, refurbished, right? Nah, I'm just in here checking in. You know, I'm not doing a pick a card reading right now. I'm just not. I just want to talk. I really just want to talk. Can we talk? I just want to sit here and talk about the importance of, oh shit, I'm just playing with stuff on the importance of, your spirituality, your foundation, all that good stuff. Just talk about some of my experiences, some just spirit talk, right? Um, I don't know. It's crazy out here, man. When you really like living your truth, you is it? I mean, an aspect of your truth, because truth is not absolute. It's ever changing. What's true to you may not be true to somebody else, right? But we just out here walking in your freak, authenticity. Can't nobody tell you anything. When you walk in spirit, you really walk in spirit and confidence. You know, I was told long ago, and you see people, this may be for folks who judging their spiritual walk. And again, I'm just telling you about my experiences and whatnot. And don't mind me if I'm all over the place. That's just how I ramble. But I'm just, when you just on your spiritual path and you see people with so much knowledge, right? They just know so much. They read this amount of books. They learn from this elder. They learn from that elder and whatnot, right? But you rarely see, like, and I don't know if it's just me. I don't know. But it's rare that you see them connect with spirit, with source. You know what I'm saying? And getting the information for themselves, learning things through trial and error versus learning through books, right? And and this is no way bashing books because I'm a bibliophile. I love reading books. But I come to find out that whenever I books to me are like a secondary source, right? Books to me are like a secondary source, and what I mean by that is books always confirm the conversations I have with spirit when I'm in my state of zen, right? It confirms and reiterates the quote unquote downloads I be getting. I hate the word downloads because it's no legitimate reason. I'm an Aquarius and I'm a contrarian, so anything that's very utilized, I'm not gonna like. But anyway, when you just have this one-on-one connection with spirit, when you read a book, it's nothing but confinement and going deeper into what spirit told you, right? And a lot of people don't really have a connection with spirit. It's more so their ego connection with spirit than a connection with spirit, right? It's more so their ego connecting. And sometimes, when I feel like it's somebody's ego, I have to check myself saying maybe that's their spiritual wall, maybe that's just them. And then spirit was like, nah, if it brings confusion, it's not. If it brings chaos, chaos is of the primordial mother, right? So I understand that. But if it brings unnecessary chaos, if that makes sense, there's unnecessary evil, but there's necessary evil. If it brings unnecessary chaos, then it's not of spirit. I thought my brother was coming in. My bad. I'm in here, Cedric.
Did you want to go to eat?
Yeah, you was asleep.
What?
I ain't want your food to be cold, so I was just gonna wait till you wake up.
Oh, okay.
But what do you want? What you want? I did. Okay, I'm gonna. It closed at 10:30, right? All right, we got time. I'll get them when I get done making this video. All right. You heard me? You didn't hear me. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, that's what I was saying. It brings calamity if it's not of spirit, because you see a lot of people egos talking and they think it's spirits talking, speaking through them, and it's not that. You know what I'm saying? One of the earliest universal lessons I've learned was everybody you come encounter with is a reflection of you, right? And until people really start um analyzing themselves outside of themselves, right? They will never understand the full capacity of God or the universe and whatnot. So when I see somebody doing something like I would consider wrong, I just stop and think and be like, that could have been me. That really could have been me. I could have done that. I could have snapped like that, right? Or if I see somebody doing really, really well, I'm like, that's an aspect of me that's doing really, really well. So if that's an aspect of me, then I can bring that into my life too, because that's an aspect of me. That's why people get so motivated when they see other people win. But they feel so connected to other people when they see other people going through the struggle too, right? You see parts of yourselves, right? So that's why I kind of don't understand um the egos, right? Of trying to prove each other wrong. Now, I'm all for a scholarly debate, right? And me, if I'm a debate with somebody, I'm a not try to prove myself to be right. Because the thing is, right, when it comes to scholarly debates, I don't like, it's really not doing no justice. It's not serving anything. You're just trying to prove why this is right. You're trying to prove why what's right and what's wrong, what's right and what's wrong. And to me, it's like, it's not about what's right or what's wrong. It's about what works and what don't work for humanity. It's about what applies and what doesn't apply to humanity, right? Because everybody's perception of right and wrong is totally different, right? Totally different, right? And the point of it is the point of learning knowledge has lost its value because everybody want to be right. Nobody want to be proven wrong. Everybody want to be proven like they know everything when really we don't know much of anything. Right? We gonna discover 5% of the goddamn ocean. We're gonna discover 5% of the ocean, or is it 10? It's one of those. I just know. Oh wait, 75% of it is still 85. One of those. But regardless, everybody wants to be knowledgeable about something and prove themselves to be right or prove the other people to be wrong. There's no room to be wrong anymore. There's no room to debate. Like, when I would read books about scholars and everything, it was always uh uh not even a debate but a discussion. And with me, if I'm and I hope all of this is making sense because I'm just rambling. Um if I'm talking about a subject, then I'm gonna have my pros and cons of said subject, right? I'm gonna poke holes in my own issues, in my own not issues, in my own um thesis, right? Before I present to someone else, right? Because I'm a problems and solution type of person anyway. But I'm gonna poke holes in it and see what can we come up together. That's the whole point of debating. What is the middle ground of your logic and your logic, right? Your hypothesis and your hypothesis, your thesis and your thesis. That's the whole grounds for debate. It's really not to prove who's right or who's wrong, who's wrong, who which one. It's about which one is more plausible, which one works better, right? But the thing is, people egos get lost into debates. People egos get lost into debates, and oh, my voice cracked earlier too. People egos get lost into debates, and they want to be right. 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 And there's no. Honestly, when you really have this understanding, if there was a right and a wrong way, it will only be one way. It was only be one way. That's how I pictured it in my mind. I remember saying in church one day, right? And I don't have a problem with Christianity. I really don't. It's the people in Christianity that I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the figures in Christianity. I don't have a problem with none of that. It's just the hold up. Sir, Dad. Oh, hello. Hold on, I'm doing something. I'm gonna come back to you. All right. Oh shit. Oh well. I'm keeping this in. Hell, it's raw. This is raw and uncut. But anyway, I was sitting in church one day, and I just remember thinking, and I remember I thought this when I was like, I think 11. I think I just got a download about teenagers too. Like I feel like teenagers are a big. Okay, yeah, I think teenagers are play a big role because they question everything. They question everything that doesn't make sense. They question it. Yeah. Anyway, I had to be a teenager. And I remember sitting in church and I was like, if this religion is right, why is there so many religions? Why are there so many religions out there, right? And then also I had this thought, maybe every religion. No, I didn't have this thought in church. It was later down the line when I was starting learning about other religions. And I was like, maybe other religions, if every religion talks about the same figures, right? Maybe there's some truth in all religions, right? There's some truth in it. If they have the same energy, the same type of figures, right? So that's where my mind is always led to. I always been we all are one. I really never judge anybody. It's kind of hard for me to judge people with this mindset I have, and I find myself forcing it. Um, like we all are all unique in color. Don't get me wrong. We all unique in color and essence, but at the end of the day, we all go back to one source. That's what every religion talk about. We all go back to one source, right? I have my own theories. Like I feel like all of us are like, you know how our data chips. You know what I'm saying? I think we all data chips, and we go back to source like as data collection and all that good stuff, right? Talk about our experiences, what worked, what didn't work, and all that stuff, right? That's how I feel. But nonetheless, so when it comes to like people proving, trying to prove themselves right, trying to prove themselves wrong, it really never makes sense to me because there's really no right or wrong when it comes to your spiritual path. Now, now I'm not saying there shouldn't be a proper foundation, and you shouldn't just be in willy nilly when it comes to certain practices, like individual practices, like religions and all that stuff. You shouldn't just go in their head first. But when it comes to things outside of that, like you should really have an understanding and a deeper understanding on your own accord. There's no blueprint to your spiritual path because everybody's spiritual path is individualized, right? And with everybody's spiritual path being individualized, um, nobody's path gonna look the same, right? Now, that kind of brings me to another point I have. It kind of bothers me when I see, and it could be the whatever in me that want to step away from social media and whatnot, but it kind of bothers me when people. There's two type of people I do not like, and I can say this. Well, I'm not gonna say do not like. Um, the first people I kind of don't really click well with is people who ridicule others for their spiritual practices, right? And the other person is the people who always flaunting their spiritual path. And one thing I've learned is your spiritual path is silent. It's silent. So when I see people flaunting their spiritual paths, not all of them, but it's certain ones you can just tell. It's almost like you're trying to have some type of power play, and by showing, I got this sign, I got this deity, I got this spirit guide, blah 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 blah. It's kind of like showing, I did this to this person. I got this in my dreams, and it's like I feel like it's all power play. I could power play, or you want to feel like a chosen one. I mean, technically we're all chosen ones, right? God, everybody's called, few are chosen. I mean, that's just what it is. But the reason I don't like the people who ridicule others is because I have this thing where spirit talks to everybody, and there's certain like spirit would choose who they want to work with, no matter what pantheon you believe in. Spirit will come that individual, say individual of a different race, nationality, ethnic group, whatever, right? Spirit will come to that person, whether, yeah, it's possible. It's possible. And when I meditate on it, I'm like, okay. And then another thing, I always felt like, let me see if the book behind me, or is it over there? I think it's over there. Oh, it's right here. So I'm gonna get it. But before I got this book, I always had this feeling like when people will get into these debates about spirit, don't do this to that spirit, don't do that to that spirit. I never found myself getting upset, but I always had this message in the back of my head that's like, spirit could take care of themselves. Spirit would take out whoever is disrespectful. Spirit can defend themselves. Spirit, you need to do the work. I'm the big dog. Yeah, I got this, right? And I always held that core belief, right? I always held that core belief, and it didn't confirm. And going back to what I was saying earlier about how books confirm things you already thought about is weird because, and I'm gonna get this other book right that really confirmed. So I was reading this book, right, the African Goddess Initiation, right, and one of the when I was reading this, the Arthur Abiola Abrams, right? She said, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Okay, so in one of the pages, she was like, when I was younger, I remember being annoyed about somebody inserting themselves in a closed spiritual practice. It felt disrespectful, and although it wasn't my ceremony, I thought, we have so little, we must protect it. Then Spirit told me we could take care of ourselves. Just share what we asked you to share. They commanded me to shift my worldview from, but we have so little. They said, you are wealthy, you are an heiress, you have so much, we choose who shows up. And that clarified it to me. And when I read that, and I'm going to get y'all another book too. when I read that, it was more so of a it was like I always felt like this. Like I felt seen when I read that. Because everybody gets mad when when people express their spirituality or whatnot, right? Which goes to my next thing. People who always show their spiritual walk, they spiritual, whatever. You don't gotta flaunt it. You don't gotta show it. That's what I think. That's where the confusion comes from. Because spirit is like we communicate with whoever we choose to communicate with. But the problem is that people want to show that we're communicating with them. Not everything is meant to be seen. Sometimes when we give you a ritual, a ceremony, a tool, this and the third, a message, that's only for you and not for anybody else, right? Now, if like for instance, there's some things I wouldn't share that happened to me, right? And that's just, me being me. Now, a part of me feel like it's a way for people to feel connected to others. Like, yeah, I'm having spiritual practice too, but that's the wrong way because you attract the wrong people, right? Like, I could sit here and tell you one thing. Never mind. They said, nah, don't even tell them. But I could tell you about the dreams I would have. And I only told a couple people about it. I had a ooh, dream I had last night. Let me tell you, we're not gonna get into that, but it's it's sad and it's chaotic because the spiritual community is losing its value with everything that goes on within it, and really, if you walk this spiritual path, you got to walk with it with the. I always want to say you got to walk with it with the purest heart, with the purest integrity, with the right mindset, the right mind frame, right? You can't walk with it as if it's old to you. I don't think that's a word I was looking for. For lack of a better word, right? Then with this other book that confirmed a lot of my thoughts, to my inner thoughts, my inner monologue, whatever you want to say. Hold on, I'll be right back. Watch my chair for me. There we go. Child, I was hoping I was gonna find it, but this book right here, What God Said, 25 core messages of the 25 core messages of conversations with God that would change your life and the world, right? This is a eye opener, right? The back of the book, God's number one message to the world, you got me all wrong, right? Let me see. I'm gonna give you some of it. Like, I got this book back in 2020, like 3 years ago, but this confirmed everything. If not everything, a lot of things I felt, right? So one of them is we are all one. All things are one. There's only one thing, and all things are part of the one thing. One thing there is. This means that you are divine. You are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your soul. You are the unique combination of all three, which comprises the totality of you. You are an individuation of divinity, an expression of God on earth. I've had that. That confirmed the things I thought, right? There's a number two. There's enough. There's enough. It's not necessary to compete for, much less fight over your resources. All you have to do is share. I have that thought. That confirmed what I've always thought, right? Here's my favorite. God talks to everyone all the time. The question is not to whom does God talk? The question is who listens, right? We have a lot of people who don't listen, right? What else? Here's another one I've always said. And when I read this book, it confirmed me. To see, when you walk your spiritual path and you just listen to Spirit, Spirit will guide you towards the right resources that confirm that the things that's going on in your head, or the things that going on, like the messages that you get, are from source, are from Spirit. Spirit will guide you towards these resources versus you going to look for them, right? It's almost like I don't let books. I don't go to books. The books come to me and just catches my attention, right? So number 6, there's no such thing as right and wrong. There's only what works and what does not work, given what is you trying to do, right? There's no such place. There's no such place as hell, and eternal damnation does not exist. Death does not exist. What you call death is merely a process of re-identification, right? There's no such thing. Number 11, there's no such thing as space and time. There's only here and now, right? 12, love is all there is. And really, when you understand Christ consciousness, that's what the teaching of Christ was, unconditional love, right? Now, I'm not going to go too deep in it. I still got to study more, but that's what thing I've come to realize. When people say we're in 5D, we're in the 5D, we're in the 5D, the 5D is Christ consciousness. That's what it is, right? And Christ consciousness is unconditional love. You got to operate out of this, and I totally agree. When you listen to certain spiritualists, they confirm, right? You got to operate out of this heart space, this green chakra heart space, right? What is it? Number 17, there is no such thing as absolute truth. All truth is subjective. Within this framework, there are 5 levels of truth telling. Tell your truth to yourself about yourself. Tell your truth to yourself about another. Tell your truth about yourself to another. Tell your truth about another to another. And tell your truth to everyone about everything. Right? 18. The human race lives within a precise set of illusions. The 10 illusions of humans are needs. My bad. The 10 illusions of humans are need exists, failure exists, disunity exists, insufficiency exists, requirement exists, judgment exists, condemnation exists, conditionality exists, superiority exists, and ignorance exists. These illusions are meant to sever humanity, but it must learn how to use them, right? What else? Life functions, number 20. Life functions and they do have paradigm. Most people have this backwards. Imagining that one must have things in order to do things does be what they wish to be. Reversing this process is the fastest way to experience mastery in living. Be, do, have. What else? If you want this is a really good book. This is a good book. Again, it's what God said. The 25 core messages of conversations with God that will change your life and the world, right? And then the last one, which is kind of my favorite, because I feel like we're all going through this right now. Let there be a new gospel for all the people of earth. We are all one. Ours is not a better way. Ours is merely another way. When I tell you this book confirmed a lot of the inner messages I've had growing up, and why I never really got upset at certain things and certain calamities. You know, as most people, not to say it didn't matter. It just me personally, I just saw the world from a bigger picture, right? I saw the world from a wider lens, right? So when you're on your spiritual path, you know, what calls you will come to you. I hope all this came full circle. I really do. Because it's just people are getting lost in the sauce. And it's happening daily within the spiritual community, within the I'm not gonna say mundane, but the mundane community, right? People are getting lost in the sauce. People are clicking up with others. People are, you know, doing things that don't even align with their spirit. They're not meant to do certain things. They let their egos get in the way. They let their needs to be right. And it's like people don't have an end goal anymore, right? Granted, we're supposed to live in the present, but that's another thing, right? That's another message. Where is it? Where is it? There's no such thing as space and time. There's only here and now. Because past, present, and future all exist at the same time, right? Um, that's just where I take. That's where my take is. I didn't want to make this video long. I just wanted to talk a little bit about, your spiritual path. The only thing I'm gonna end on is walk in your truth, wherever your truth may be, right? And the right people will come. Things happen at the right time. The right people come. Things always fall apart when you force it. When you force it to happen, right? This life we live is so short. I was just telling my nephew yesterday. Do what you want to do. If you feel like you're good at this, do it. If you feel like this is where you belong, go there. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But this life is so short. The lifespan is 75, even probably 60, 65, but it's 75 to hell. I'm gonna say 80 to up to the 80s. It's not that long. 80s, 90s, 100s. That's not a long time, right? It's really not. Because Earth is 1 billion years old. We have trees older than that, right? So just when you on your spiritual path, that's walking your authentic. Walk. I'm not gonna say walk with caution. Walk with a purpose. Walk in your authentic. Fuck. Walk in your essence. Okay. Well, that's all I have to say. Until next time, I'm just gonna I had a clicker, but it's not working. So until next time.